Hey, welcome to the Bad Lessons Book Club. I'm Brian,
And I'm Alex.
and today we're talking about a special issue of the Absolute series, the All In issue number 1.
No, that's not incorrect. This is All In is the imprint. That's like the company wide initiative that's happening.
Okay.
So
This is called Arc M issue
yes,
1?
Arc M special number 1 is what this will be called. Every DC comic right now, if you pick it up off the shelf, says
All In.
All
I
In
totally
on the
knew that. I've got one sitting right here that says that.
Yeah, no worries.
Whatever.
Yeah, so this is a special one. It's 30 pages, so it's an oversized issue. The story's by Scott Snyder and Frank Tieri, who I've never heard of. The art's by Joshua Hixson, who I've also never heard of. Colors by Roman Stevens, who I've also never heard of. I'm sure I've encountered comics by these people before, but it's something totally new and different based on what we're doing. But the letters by Clayton Cowles, as always. I almost decided to skip this one. Brian and I were texting, and he was like, "What should we read next?" And I was like, Absolute Batman number 16, right? I'm glad I was looking at the order that these came out, and a lot of times, like side stories like this are they're like the annuals, right? You have Absolute Batman on your pull list. They would like to make one extra issue's worth of revenue, please. They oversize it, and so instead of $4.99, it's $5.99 or whatever. So they charge you an extra $1, and it's a way to juice it. But I'm glad, kind of on a lark, I decided to go read this one because it's sort of a direct follow up to the issue we just had.
It is, yeah, totally.
Spoilers, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know if you have any sort of spoiler free thoughts before we dive right in.
Oh, I mean, I liked it a lot. I guess spoiler-free thoughts would be, it reminds me of a episode we covered in the Batman History podcast. And,
yes, indeed.
Also, the very, very beginning reminds me of Batman Arkham Asylum series and how you're following that history. Even like just the very first cell. It says, "These are the writings of Dr. Amadeus Arkham." Just like
totally
they did in the game.
I think that's a perfect point to go ahead and jump in. Yeah, like you were saying, jumps in and our sort of omniscient narrator that we're getting caption boxes for is Arkham himself, who runs an asylum. It's interesting. I was trying to remember, previously in the series, we knew that like they described the arcs, which were lettered, by the way, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, as these like black site prisons or whatever. And I'm trying to remember if they had given a nod before that the Arc M was like built beneath the old asylum. I think that may have been said, but I'm not sure. Or if this is like an in-universe retcon.
I mean, I could totally be wrong, but I think it wasn't because like the arcs were like on. I think the arc that we were learning about was on an island far away.
Yes,
and
this is not.
Yes, and then Arc M is what we heard over and over and over again until like a couple of issues ago. It was Dr. Arkham,
right? Yes,
where that was notable. So no, I don't think that we've seen reference to the OG Arkham Asylum.
No, yeah. So I whether this is like truly a retcon or like fitting into the gaps, I guess I don't know for sure. I'd have to go back and like try to figure it out. But it's very clearly they were not necessarily building to this.
Well, I mean, yeah, let's read this and then we can come back to this point.
Fair enough. So what is this book?
Who was Jack the Ripper?
Oh yeah, I didn't catch that when I was first reading this through. That's really fascinating.
Yeah, I caught it and I was like, no way are they gonna go into Jack the Ripper? Because
totally
we did the was it by Gotham by Gaslight?
We did do Gotham by Gaslight, a whole episode on the history of Jack the Ripper. By the way, if you're interested in the history version of the show, definitely worth a listen. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess we're further tying the Batman mythos, at least the absolute Batman mythos, to Jack the Ripper. So yeah, this person that we're seeing here, I believe, is supposed to be the same like mysterious benefactor. We see him here. We see him here. He's cutting a check. He's donating it. We see him here. He's got a book about Jack the Ripper, right? So the narrator is Arkham, but this is the person that buys the asylum. We see later in this issue.
Which we don't know at this page.
No, we don't. Yeah.
Yes.
This is me piecing it together. I'm like doing an awful job of walking through this.
No. It's all good. It's interesting because the way that this issue kind of goes along is these first couple of pages take place at like a point in time, like 1940, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they look at this picture, this random dude looks at this picture and he's like, who is this picture? And the dude goes, oh, that's my mom. And I guess this whole Arkham thing really starts with her.
Yes.
So then it goes even further back in time to the 1860s.
Right. We've jumped from 1945 all the way back to right at the end of the Civil War, which I have to admit, I'm not 100% sure where that is. And he's describing his mother. So this person who we sort of are vaguely aware is an Arkham, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is talking about how his dad was away in the war, right? And his mom was like constantly waiting for him to come home. And one day she gets really excited because this dude, in a soldier outfit shows up and she thinks it's going to be her husband, but it turns out it's not, right? And instead it's like one of those letters. I don't know what they call those, where not important.
Yeah, there is a letter that comes to mind, but I don't think that is...
You're thinking of Dear John. That's the wrong kind of letter.
Yep, that's what I was thinking too.
But basically, letting her know that her husband's dead, and like insult to injury, this is after the war has actually technically been over. Like, which is a thing that used to happen. Like, turns out when people don't have cell phones, they don't find out that the war's over yet.
When news travels at the speed of like horses and trains and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It gets there slow. And so, he died in a battle that happened after the war was over. So died for no reason, as it says here. She's, stricken.
Yeah.
Upset.
She shoots the messenger.
Poor messenger, poor soldier. He goes to be delivering these terrible news.
We'll talk
this
about
woman
crap
gets
job.
upset.
Yeah.
He tries to help her.
Yeah.
She pulls the gun out of his holster and shoots him.
Yeah.
Woof.
And then,
but if that's not bad enough,
she starts killing the kids. So she goes one at a time. She's killing all the kids. She's got 4 kids. She kills the 3 of them, and then our protagonist, the guy who's narrating, says like she turns to me and then she pauses, right? And for whatever reason, when she takes her own life, she leaves him. So she's killed herself, the messenger, the 3 siblings, and he's left alive, and he has no idea why. Which is like a really macabre, kind of messed up sort of story, for sure.
Yeah, what a crazy childhood is that you're not only does like your dad die at war while you're young, but then your mom kills your siblings and herself while you're watching.
Yeah.
And leaves you standing over their bodies. So then clearly what happens next is he has to go find someone and go tell them what happened.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
That's the trauma I'm thinking about, is not only is seeing it bad enough, he's alone in this house.
Yeah, totally.
His bodies, ugh.
Well, we skip over all of that, thankfully.
Yeah,
because that's awful. Instead, we sort of jump forward. He grows up in an orphanage. Gloss over that.
Lots of orphans in this story.
There are,
in the series.
Yes. Bruce, not an orphan, right?
Not Bruce.
Yeah. But when he gets out, he decides that he's gonna, dedicate his life to helping people who are troubled, like his mom was, right? And so we get, him over like blueprints of the Arkham Asylum, and it like matches the sort of prototypical art, which is kind of cool. And they build it not on an island, it doesn't look like, but it's cheap land. So this is what it says: cheap land with a past of its own, granted due to it being where the British kept colonial prisoners of war during the Revolution. So,
and it says a place other Gothamites said was haunted.
Yeah,
which I thought that was kind of interesting, because just like they don't pay that off in this issue, but it is like planting a breadcrumb that maybe will come back later.
Or it's just like, double plus extra spooky, right? It's just like they're trying to heap on a little bit of spice on top there. But Yeah. So we cut forward and they've built it. And turns out even in the Victorian era in Gotham, all of the people who end up in the asylum are friggin' crazy. Like they're disfigured and disformed and like, absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
I think the picture of what we have as an asylum in terms of Batman is like definitely like pre 1960s, not even that. Like I think it's even earlier, this like idea of a sanatorium, which is like very much not the way that like mental health care works today.
Right.
But like taken to like the nth degree, right? That there's like a supernatural element to it.
Yeah.
It's actually like kind of insensitive to people with disabilities. As time goes on, I become less and less comfortable with it. But like also spooky, creepy. Like I don't know. There's a certain like Halloween type element to it that I appreciate, and they're doing the thing.
Yeah, I can imagine that they could defend this because it says something along the lines of like, even like this is where the people that no one else wanted came, as if to say like there are other prison systems or other
sure
facilities that could help the people that are afflicted in kind of a less intense way.
Right.
And so we got the highest level. We got to turn it up to 11.
Right.
Intense patients.
And he talks about a specific inmate there that they call Jack Doe.
But they say I won't say his name.
Yes.
In the writing, I will just refer to him as Jack Doe.
Right. So maybe there's a name we don't actually get to know it. And he looks kind of like vaguely Joker-y. He's got the smile and everything. And so we're supposed to think, is this the Joker, right?
But I will also say, at this point, I thought there's no way this is the Joker because they already gave us an origin story and they never smile.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And so I was like, there's something interesting going on here. And I kept thinking, like, who could it be? Who could it be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely want us thinking about it. So as he's telling the story, we jump back to 1945, which is like the present day for this story. So we jump from 1800s to 1945. He's with this guy that's trying to buy the asylum. They're walking through and having a conversation. He's like, why are you looking to sell it? And he says like, there's more modern facilities that have better types of care. The Arkham, the guy who's selling the place, is like, who even are you? Like, I'm not going to sell this to someone I don't know. Like, I see that you've got this history of like doing donations, right? Like, but what's your story, right? Which is like they're alluding to that here on the first page, right?
It is interesting that this guy's that Arkham says benefactors such as yourself, and the guy's like, oh, you've done your homework because I keep my donations anonymous.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. And so he starts talking about the reason that he would care, right? Like this is the reason. He says, I've seen up close the suffering caused by conditions of the mind, and I feel it's our duty to find cures, right? So he's talking like, we don't want younger generations to be harmed by this sort of thing. He says, do you have children? Which, not me now going through this benefit of hindsight, this is clearly manipulative, right? Like he obviously knows Arkham's story, right? And he's trying to use this as a way to convince him to sell the asylum. I didn't understand that when I was reading this the first time. And Arkham goes, children? Well, no, I never had any children, right? And then we get another flashback. We're back in the 1800s, right?
And it's really is kind of like out of nowhere because he's saying like, I don't have kids. And then you see this shot of like a kid.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is this about? And so he just starts talking about this kid. He's like, yeah, this kid showed up out of nowhere in the rain, covered in blood, so much that the rain couldn't wash it all off.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
He had no idea where it came from, which is troubling.
Yeah. And he's like, being an orphan myself, I took him in, I had to, felt like I did. Took him under my wing. It was bright, learned quickly more than anything, was fascinated by the asylum. Apparently is like, has this saying that he always says, which is tomorrow's a new page father, right? Like this endlessly, optimistic sort of attitude, like falls in love with this kid, obviously.
Yeah. He said he started to think of him as his own son.
Yeah. Even has interactions with this Jack Doe, right? Boy remained undeterred, right?
Yeah. And so he's already kind of told some stories a little bit about how this Jack guy is like pretty messed up. Like he killed some people before he came to the asylum, and then in the asylum he like killed a couple of nurses. He disemboweled his like cellmate or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they've got him muzzled. They've got the signs that are like keep away from this dude or whatever. And so kind of crazy to think that this kid that he wants to be his son, he's just kind of like let him meet all of these really like intense characters. And so Jack Doe starts, like taunting him and trying to upset him, and the kid isn't bothered.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of concerning.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Yeah. Because this seems like a very young child. Like he's not even up to the waist of Arkham.
And it would be like disturbing for anybody, right? Like kind of messed up.
Yeah. No. What's disturbing is how the kid was undeterred.
That's what I'm saying, though, is that this kid is like unfazed in the face of it. And if I ran into a muzzled person, like, and I'm not a kid, like I've seen some stuff,
Sure. Okay. I'm with you now.
And he tells the story about how at one point Jack Doe escapes his cell and like takes the kid hostage, and the guards show up and Arkham shows up, and he knows that, he's not getting out of this alive. And they're able to, get him to release the kid.
Yeah.
And he's saying it's remarkable, that he's even undeterred by this. Even as I hugged him, I knew the light in him had only been strengthened. So he's like, even now he's so in love with this kid, and like the relentless, light and optimism. Then we were back in 1945 again.
So they're just kind of talking to each other some more.
Yeah.
He says like, we still have patience, but it's like it's not as popular as it used to be. And the guy's like, well, I mean, you've done your homework, you know who I am, but I've also done my homework, and you're not saying everything about why this is not as popular. How about you tell me about the breakout?
Right. 1886. So this is a little bit later even still.
It's 1 year after the kid shows up. The kid shows up in 1885.
Okay. That's a good note. And he basically explains that there was a careless orderly and Jack Doe gets out, right? And he freaking murders everyone, like inmates, guards, everyone, right? And he makes it down to the basement, and he like digs a tunnel and breaks out. And he doesn't just break out, it's like a prison break, which is like a Batman trope, by the way. Like all of the villains, super villains, like exiting the asylum at once. It happened in the Arkham games, but it's also happened in the comics like numerous times. Like there was a Cataclysm was an event where that happens, and I'm pretty sure it even happens during Nightfall, which is funny because those are both 90s events.
Yeah, it's just the chance to start over. Like once you've caught everyone, if you can't come up with new characters, you figure out a way to.
Doesn't that happen in Batman Begins too? I think it happens in Batman Begins, or maybe there's a different prison. It's not important.
Yeah, that one's Blackgate.
Okay, fair enough. Apparently they like cover it up in the papers, which I think is really interesting. They don't want people to freak out. Arkham somehow knows, right, that when this happens that Jack Doe's going to go for the kid, right? Because he went for him before. And his like worst fear is realized, which is his sort of adopted child is dead now. Yeah,
pretty terrible. There is an interesting element here where the inmates, they get down to the furnace and they dig out all through the night, and that's how they escape.
Yeah.
And I saying that because when they have to cover it all up, and so they like brick the walls up and stuff, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
And then they cover it up in the newspapers, which is what makes sense for this benefactor to be able to say you're hiding this thing.
Sure.
Because if it was in the newspapers, that would be like a known thing.
Right.
And so for him to say like, no, I've done my homework and you're hiding this big thing that you hid from everyone.
Yeah.
And so, so he's really upset, and the benefactor's like, they've talked about this stuff. Arkham is like, well, let me show you to my room of shame. And he brings him in, and you can see like basically every failure that's happened, and how he's been, trying to track what happened to Jack Doe. It's like the red yarn on all the pictures kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, he thinks that he's figured out that Jack Doe is Jack the Ripper, and so it's like it's his fault, right? That Jack the Ripper has like done all this to all these people and like killed his son and all those sorts of things.
So then we jump back to page 1 where he says like, I want you, reader, to know after my death the evil that I've unleashed upon the world.
Yeah, like a serious guilt
Jack
complex.
The Ripper.
Yeah, 100%. He takes him down to the basement and he shows him this, bricked up place where the inmates had dug through the night to get out of the asylum.
I think actually there's a beat here that I think is really significant because this benefactor, which you and I know what's going on, but the benefactor is like, hey, let's go down to the furnace.
Oh, yeah. Fascinating. Yeah.
And Arkham is like, I haven't been there since it happened.
He's like ashamed. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. So then they go down to the furnace room.
The dude asks like, hey, why are both walls bricked, right? So they're facing one way. And there's sort of like a clearly a repaired wall. And the benefactor is like, hey, wait a minute. Why is it on the other side?
He's like, I haven't been here for 40 years or whatever. Like, hell if I know.
Yeah, but like clearly this is like an unsettling prospect. His face is kind of, ooh.
And then the benefactor whispers something in his ear.
Right.
And then leaves.
Yes. And we go back to the journal where Arkham is saying to himself, that night I could not sleep, right? I must have heard him wrong, my buyer, but part of me knew I had not, right? And so he goes down to the basement and he starts breaking up this wall to look inside of it. And he's got this sort of shocked face. What has he seen on the other side? They don't tell us explicitly, we don't see, but we do see all of a sudden he has the stuffed animal that was on the bed from his adopted child, right? And we're like, oh crap. Is it maybe the body of his kid is in there, right? That's where I go.
That is not where I went, actually, because he's burning the teddy bear. So why would he want to burn the thing that like represents the kid that he loved? That stood out as like, oh shit, something really nuts has just been discovered.
Yeah, so he starts burning the teddy bear, then realizes like, oh man, maybe I don't want to do that, and he takes it back out. And I guess he started the whole building on fire with the teddy bear on accident.
I don't think it was an accident because he
think it's on purpose? Okay.
He says, I know what this guy's going to do with this place, and I'm not going to let him.
Right.
And they call him the buyer. They don't call him the like prospective buyer. He's bought it. He is the owner.
Yeah, he must have signed the paperwork. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's destroying it because it's already happened. Because if he hadn't bought yet, Arkham could say, no, this guy's crazy. I'm not selling to him.
Yeah.
You know, the ink's on the page.
And he's burning down the asylum with the inmates in it, which is kind of gruesome. Like this is the second
Super
really gruesome thing. Like when the and he's kind of following in the footsteps of his mom, right? When she had this sort of like realization, she's like burned down the world, and this guy's like had this awful realization. He's like, I'm burning it down, right? He's taking everybody with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so the last words in his journals, I send this journal to you, Captain Flass of Gotham City, which I think is funny that like in the 1940s, there's also a Flass. I only pray it reaches you in time to stop him. And then we get another view of the benefactor, and it's very clearly the Joker because he's got the journal. He's the one that's reading. It didn't make it to Flass.
It didn't make it to Flass.
Yeah,
and he only smiles when terrible things happen.
Yes, you're right.
He hasn't smiled all throughout the issue.
Indeed.
He's smiling here where the Arkham Asylum is burning down.
Then we're jumping back to present day, and at the Ark. I didn't even catch this the first time. That's that's so funny. You got it framed on the wall.
Yeah.
the asylum burning down.
Yeah.
Not Jack Doe, but him, the boy, the one that I once called my son, who I think this is a reinforcement, by the way, right? That before we weren't sure if there's been 5 generations of Grimm. Was it John Grimm or Jack Grimm? I can't remember.
It was Jack Grimm. He said it was like a different name, but he went by Jack.
Yeah.
So they call him Jack Grimm.
It wasn't clear if that was 5 generations or if it had been the same person this whole time, right? And this narration against this art, it's like, wait a minute, is that Joker that was there in 1880 whatever? Is that the same one now in the present day? I think that's clearly implied, right? And he's got the JK paper in front of him in case to remove.
He's got the journal.
Does he have the journal? He does. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. The purple book is his journal. And so then it reveals what he found. What Dr. Arkham found was Jack Doe.
Right. It wasn't the kid.
The toothbrush. So earlier, the toothbrush is what killed not the inmate, the staff.
Okay.
Which is what they said. He was stabbed in the neck with a toothbrush, and that's how they all got out.
Yeah.
Apparently, the kid stabbed Jack Doe in the neck with the toothbrush and bricked him up behind the wall and left a piece of paper with "Tomorrow's a new page."
Yes.
And that was and he says, like, it's the phrase only we two knew.
Yeah.
So it's a secret.
Yeah, the boy did it just to make a fool of me, my hopes, my beliefs. He's the monster, the one laughing in the dark, always laughing. And this is the journal, right? So it's kind of pretty grim that like Arkham knows this as he's like taking it to his grave, right? That the person who's buying the asylum from him is the kid that he thought it was his son, right? Which is kind of messed up.
Now we could be critical at this moment. And say, how did he get this journal? Because it seems like he couldn't sleep that night.
Yeah.
He went down, found the thing, and in that same session was so upset he burned down the whole place. So when did he have time to write in the journal and have it in a place where Jack Grimm gets a hold of it so he can stand outside and read it smiling while the place burns down?
Maybe after he opened up the brick wall, he went upstairs, wrote the journal, wrote it to Flask, came back down, got the teddy bear. Like, I don't know.
That would make a lot of sense.
Try not to think about it too hard. It's a comic book. No, but there's a totally fair point that is like absolutely a discontinuity. It doesn't make any sense. And then, the last 3 pages, we get Joker in the present day having a conversation with some mysterious person. We don't know who it is, but they're watching, Batman beat up a bunch of people, right? And this mysterious person is like, I'm not worried about him, I can take care of him. And Joker's like, I know you can, right? But I have my plans. And this mysterious person's like, are you playing with your food? And he's like, yeah, basically. And they're watching him on surveillance while this is happening. Yeah. And he says, like, I want to introduce him to some of the other people in the arc. And then these are actually some of these we actually already saw when he was inside the arc. But we've got Langstrom, which is Man-Bat, Isley, which is Poison Ivy, Hugo Strange, which is Hugo Strange. We've got Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane. I can't wait to see Absolute Scarecrow. That's going to be so cool.
I know. That's what I was thinking as I was reading through these is because they're all like quote unquote abominations. What's his mutation going to be?
Carlo, which is Clayface, and then Tetch. Which one is Jervis Tetch? I can't remember.
Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter. That's right. So just kind of a cool thing. And he goes and he presses a button by a release. He presses it, tack. And like we get the doors opening up and like abomination, like organic material starts coming out of the door. This like really reminds me of Stranger Things. The art does for whatever reason. The most recent. I'm just now watching season 5. So.
I don't think I've even gotten into season 4 yet.
Season 4.
I'm way behind.
Diversion, I think, might be one of my favorite seasons of television ever. Like after season 4 happened, I bought posters and hung them up on the wall at my house. Nice. I was that into it.
We are really interested. It's just been hard to make time, but
I would say seasons 1 through 3, I was like, it was a good show. Like I was into it. It was not like, but like I season 4 unironically like put it in the pantheon of like one of my favorite TV shows.
Wow. That's really cool. No, I really like because of all the character development, the time they put it in. They don't have like cell phones. It's very like ET, etc. Like
kids on bikes.
A lot of fun. Yeah, it's good.
And then we get a sort of last page, splash reveal. The person he's talking to, he calls him Deathstroke, my Deathstroke, which he doesn't look anything like Deathstroke. He looks like Dracula to me. I think it's kind of funny.
But look, he's like Bionic Man.
He does. Yeah,
he looks like that to me.
Yeah, he's got like cyborg feet or whatever.
Cyborg, yeah.
Yeah, how familiar are you with Deathstroke?
I would say not super familiar. Is he the one who's got the target on his eye, and he shoots from a long distance. I know of him primarily from is it Arkham City? Is where he's the guy you're trying to catch.
Okay, sure.
And then I think Will Smith plays Deathstroke, maybe. And
no, I think you're
No.
conflating that with. Let me Google that. I don't know. You're talking about the Suicide Squad.
yeah.
Will Smith, Suicide Squad.
Oh, Deadshot.
Deadshot. Yeah, you're conflating
Deadshot.
Deadshot and Deathstroke. And so was
Deadshot
I.
may be what I was thinking of the whole time. Okay.
No worries. So to be honest with you, I don't know that much about Deathstroke either. I have a pretty big gap. I've read a lot of modern comics from like 90s forward, and because of the show, I've read a lot of like 1960s and before. But like a lot of like Bronze Age stuff, I'm totally lost on. But what I do know is that Deathstroke is primarily a Teen Titans / Nightwing villain.
Yes, totally. Yes,
he's a mercenary.
Teen Titans,
and people hire him at various times to hunt various heroes in the DC universe. And he kind of got like a bandana that flies down the back of his back, and
he's got the mask with orange on one side and black on the other side.
I also know that Deadpool in the Marvel universe is a send up of Deathstroke.
Oh,
like
interesting.
To the point that they even like, I think his name in the DC universe is Slade Wilson, but in Marvel it's Wade Wilson. And like,
that's really funny.
They've got similar powers and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's got the swords and the guns and stuff, and he's got the full face mask.
Yeah.
Huh.
So they're setting him up obviously as an antagonist to Absolute Batman.
You're right.
In this universe.
Slade Wilson.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It is kind of funny. I have a bunch of Teen Titans over there on the bookshelf from the 80s that I've been told is fantastic and that I should read, but it's just I don't love a lot of 80s comics. I've read a fair bit of 80s. I take that back. I've read a fair bit of 80s Spider-Man. That's okay. But a lot of the other stuff, 70s and 80s, I can't really get into. But anyway, here he looks like Cyborg Dracula. So I'm very interested to see where that goes.
Yeah. It also does not look young.
No. Old. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, kind of an interesting thing. We've turned the Joker into also the Jack the Ripper, apparently.
Jack Grimm. Yes.
Yeah. So that's another sort of new wrinkle. And he's also like the villain origin story for Arkham Asylum in this universe, the Arkham family or whatever.
Yes.
Which is now working for him in the new arcs. And like very clearly wanted to torment that guy for some reason, you know?
I mean, I would say that it was like he was just some random kid that came to the asylum, and then they took care of him without, realizing that he was the killer, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
And
that could. It seems so targeted, like so intentional. Like, why wouldn't he just run away? Like instead he murders a bunch of people and like lets all of the inmates out and like lies to this father figure. Like there's something seriously messed up in there.
Oh no, he's really messed up, but I actually think that like the strategy is kind of interesting. Like he shows up at the Arkham Asylum. That's his cover story.
Yeah.
Like he's protected in there. They take care of him for a while. He learns about all this stuff that he's already like kind of interested in.
Yeah.
But then, like, when he decides it's time to go, he can't just leave. So he creates this cover story, makes sure that Jack Doe is hidden.
Yeah.
So that he can do stuff and people will think it's that guy.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, he goes off and does Jack the Ripper stuff, and he's got his patsy hidden in a wall.
Sure.
Know? So I think, like, that there is a little bit of psychotic genius going on with this small child, which gives some insight into like the level that he's thinking at that age. And
sure.
How is that going to mature over time?
Yeah, no, it's definitely like evil supervillain stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And like I don't know that we're ever really supposed to see inside Joker's head, like what makes him tick. But like maybe we will this time? ? Like they're giving him like all the Batman pathos and stuff, but like in that like he's wealthy and like lives in the mansion and has the butler and like.
Oh yeah, this seems like what do you call it? Golden Age Joker a little bit. Like he's motivated by like wealth and power and and he's figured out the key to immortality.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
stuff. So like, what are the things that any human could want in their wildest dreams? It would be all of the power, all of the money, and to live forever.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. There was one thing, because if anything we've learned, it's that the words matter.
Sure.
And there is one thing that we kind of slid past. He's with Deathstroke and he's watching Batman fight. The Joker says, he's a former patient, believe it or not, one who escaped. Pause. Or so he thinks.
Yeah.
Or so he thinks he escaped. That is really good, interesting. Like that's a good like little nugget that definitely, it's another mystery box that makes me wonder what's going to happen next. What did they do to him?
Right.
That he doesn't know about yet? Or does it go back to my theory that Harley Quinn is helping the Joker?
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That was
because another thing that we've learned about the Joker is that he, throughout history, plays both sides. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see where the next like set of betrayals are going to come.
Yeah, he has like another mechanism of control that we're not aware of, right? That's definitely implied. That's a good call out.
If he's playing both sides, he's rooting for Batman while trying to thwart Batman at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's something in there that we're going to find out that Batman's going to be really upset when he realizes that his main benefactor that he didn't know about was the bad guy. Right. Are we going to find out that like Alfred was working for him or something insane like that?
Yeah. Something.
That'd be nuts. And then the other thing, because I said put a pin on it and we'll come back to it, is you were saying, did they say that Arkham was built on top of Arkham Asylum?
Right.
And I said, I don't think so, because we see Arkham Asylum burn down.
Sure. Yeah.
And then they put the arcs other places.
So
I don't think that
it is not physically connected as being the same place. It is just the namesake. Yeah,
I think it is the origin story.
Yeah, but he also named it after it, right? So.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like issue 15 was the Joker's origin story, and this is like part 2.
Yeah, 100%. No, yeah. I'm really glad we read this, because this is very clearly an addendum to the story we just read. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Hey Bat Fam, hope you like the show. If you do, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Stickers. We got stickers. It's a great way to support the show. Just $5. Link in the description and on batlessons.com. To keep the Batman history train going, watch this video next.